Welcome back. I hope your day is going well. Mine's going alright. Can't really complain. Business is good. Speaking of business, let's begin. Item number SCP-1359. Object Class Euclid. Special Containment Procedures. SCP-1359 and accurate pictographic depictions thereof may only be observed remotely by physically restrained D-Class personnel. Any organism, including aforementioned D-Class personnel, that does visually observe 1359 or an accurate pictographic depiction thereof, or attempts to enter 1359's containment, is to be restrained and, at project staff discretion, either terminated or, once no longer visibly observing 1359 or an accurate picture thereof, administered a Class C amnestic. As an additional precaution, any non-D-Class personnel assigned to 1359 who are exposed to its effect are to be reassigned to a different project. 1359 is to be housed in a standard-sized humanoid living quarters with attached medical suite, shielded on all sides by 10 centimeters of reinforced steel. Any opening in this shielding large enough for an adult human to fit through must be only accessible by a double airlock conforming to Access Denial Level 4 standards. Routine monitoring is to be done by an echolocative imaging system and live audio recording. The user interface of the echolocative imaging system must be programmed to only visually represent 1359 as an abstract figure, such as a prism or a generic stick figure. Whenever possible, care and maintenance of 1359 is to be carried out by automated or semi-automated systems. If for any reason 1359 requires medical care, it must be carried out remotely by medical personnel working by echolocative and haptic feedback. Any object stained with 1359's blood or any other bodily fluid must be disposed of by incineration without human interaction. 1359 is to be outfitted with a heart rate monitor to confirm life, an implanted radio tag to confirm location, and a prosthetic foot. If 1359's heart rate rises or drops outside of its expected range, an alarm will go off and staff are to make verbal contact over installed speakers to confirm its safety. 1359 is to be provided with a working computer console on a closed network by which it can submit requests, access provided entertainment media, and contact its assigned medical and psychiatric team via a Foundation proprietary instant messenger. As SCP-1359 suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder and recurrent depression, it is not to be provided any sharp implement. If, for some reason, 1359 must be removed from its containment, it is to be provided with a burqa of appropriate size, modified with a mirror-coated plastic surface, covering the face veil portion. Before being allowed to leave its containment chamber, restrained D-Class personnel must be confirmed to have visual contact with the concealed body of 1359, making sure that the body is not visible at all. Description: SCP-1359 is a human female of Northern European descent with the birth date blank. It is 168 centimeters tall and weighs an average of 62 kilograms. 1359 is missing its right eye, right ear, right foot, and little ring and middle fingers on the left hand. It also has heavy scarring from the removal of strips of skin. Any organism that visually observes 1359 or an accurate pictographic depiction thereof will be overcome with a single-minded determination to gain access to 1359 and remove parts of 1359's body and consume it. Once this is done, and fully consumed, the urge to continue consuming parts of 1359 will subside until the portion has fully passed through the digestive system. When questioned, People affected by 1359 are unable to provide a coherent motive for assaulting, consuming, or attempting to consume part of 1359. They are not inhibited from identifying their actions as wrong on an intellectual level, and most still retain a cannibalism taboo after the fact, but they are unable to attach an appropriate negative emotional reaction, such as remorse or disgust, to the act of attacking 1359 or the act of consuming a part of 1359, any attempt thereof, including any property damage, harm to themselves, or harm to others, or the sound of 1359 petitioning them to stop. Subjects with otherwise high levels of empathy may become distressed when made aware of the emotional dissonance, but will still not be able to directly attach negative emotions to the above listed events. In double-blind tests, in which subjects were presented with 5 different hair or blood samples, one of which belonging to 1359, subjects consumed the samples belonging to 1359 without prompting 100% of the time. 85% of these subjects reported a sense of great peace and satisfaction after consuming parts of 1359. Addendum. 1359 was brought to Foundation's attention after it contacted police to report that it had been abducted and held in the basement of one Dr. C.B., a civilian surgeon, for a period of 6 years. The first responders fell under its effect, and automatic 911 dispatch key phrase monitoring flagged the incident for intervention by Mobile Task Force Iota 10, aka Damn Feds. SCP-1359 incurred minimal damage after initial contact by offering its hair to responding operatives. Dr. B was taken into Foundation custody and treated for a concussion, broken leg, and spinal injuries inflicted by 1359 with a crutch prior to making its 911 call. Later interrogation of Dr. B corroborated 1359's story, with the additional information that he only began eating parts of her after roughly the first 2 years of captivity, and developed a highly ritualistic process for his cannibalism over a few months. He was diagnosed with severe erotomania, with 1359 as the target of his delusions. After a review by Human Resources Panel, Dr. B was diagnosed D-Class personnel under Protocol 12. Addendum 2. 1359's parents were located and interviewed on insert date here. They were unable to provide photographs of 1359 and, when pressed, admitted to having started consuming their photographs of 1359 about 2.5 years after initial disappearance. They were administered Class B amnestics and are being monitored as minor persons of interest. Investigation into persons possessing yearbooks of photographs of 1359 in them revealed that 43% of them had removed and consumed photographs featuring 1359 sometime after the same 2.5-year period cited by 1359's parents. 80% of the 43% possessed yearbooks from the year before the disappearance. And there's another SCP. I hope that quenched your curiosity. Thank you for coming, and have a good day.